Buenos dias, this is Kaypacha with the weekly Pele report for July 8th of 2015. The river, the waters of life continue to flow as the Sun and Mars move through the sign of Cancer, and as of today, Wednesday, Mercury also entering that sign of Cancer. We got a lot of water going on these days. It's pouring buckets down here in Costa Rica. I don't know about you guys. Yikes. Landslides, mudslides, floods all over the place. This little creek here is not flooding though. It's just beautiful. Yeah. You can still see that Venus conjunct Jupiter in that evening sky. She's pulling ahead, pulling away, moving into a square with Saturn. We're going to be talking about that. Venus squares Saturn exactly next Monday, but it's really there now. And it's going to be going on for a long time, like a whole month. Venus is going to go up and turn retrograde, on July 25th at 1 degree Virgo, and come back, square Saturn again, August 5th. So it's really, she is square Saturn from now till August 5th. Yikes kebabbies, baby. A month of Venus square Saturn. I'm going to talk about what that means, and that's not the only thing going on. The Sun, I talked about, the Sun is opposite Pluto. Well, it comes in, to a square with Uranus on Sunday, but it's there all week, basically. The Moon is in its last quarter, conjunct that Uranus, okay, today. The Moon's going to move through Aries, and then on Thursday she goes into Taurus. Saturday goes into Gemini. Monday goes into Cancer. So we're in the last closing phase of this lunar cycle that began 3 weeks ago. Yeah? So we'll talk about, so it's closing, finishing, completing. Venus is in a third quarter square, to Saturn, and then Mercury coming around, is coming into, Cancer, and it's going to be squaring the Moon's nodes. And Mars squaring the Moon's nodes. This is, again, an aspect that is going on all week. Mercury squaring those Moon's nodes. And I'm going to talk about what that means as soon as I find a little spot to talk at you. Here's the trail going up, but I see this other little trail down over here. I love these beautiful purple flowers. Let's follow the trail with the purple flowers going through the jungle over here. I don't know if you can see those purple flowers if I'm holding the camera still enough. But in the moist, wet floor of the jungle grows all the little flowers. Yeah, let's kind of come up here. And what have we got but a stand of bamboo? I don't know if you can see. That's a pretty grand stand of bamboo. Yeah. I love that bamboo. That's awesome. Alright. Let me find a spot here and talk at you. Alright. Well, I'm on my knees for the Pele report. I'm pretty far away from the camera. I hope you can hear me over there. So what is going on? When I look at these aspects, and not just look at these aspects, but, feel into the space. Sun, our light, the Sun, opposite Pluto, the force of dark, of evil, of the underworld, dark. Mars, moving through innocent, vulnerable, psychic little Cancer, opposed by Pluto, the god of the underworld, in Capricorn. And now Venus conjunct Jupiter over there in Leo, in the fire sign, and Sun, and playing and having fun, coming up to square Saturn over in Scorpio. Boom. Holy jeez, baby. We could almost say that the forces of darkness are overpowering the forces of light. Luke! It's like frickin' Star Wars with Darth Vader, man. We got Saturn and Pluto up there. Okay, Scorpio and Capricorn, you know, these are the institutions, governments, authorities, people with power, people with money. We can easily externalize, you know, our power. And if we do, and we project our power and give our power away to forces outside of ourselves, be they a person, an institution, a government, or just the 10 o'clock news, you know, it's like we can feel like, holy shit, you know, it's dark. Things are going down. Things are hard. Things are tough, you know. People are suffering and hurting, and it's just, you know, the environment and Mother Nature. I mean, it's just like there's a lot of cataclysm. There's a lot of disasters, and there may be more like coming with these kinds of aspects. You know, like even today, Moon, you know, Moon conjunct Uranus is not just conjunct, it's occult. Yeah? And occult means that the Moon is covering up Uranus completely. And in this square to the Sun. So let's look at it, you know, and we have this third quarter square, just like we have with the Venus-Saturn, you know. Venus was conjunct Saturn, you know, back about 9 months ago, and now it's coming around, it, you know, squared it, it opposed it. This is a third quarter square, and it's a third quarter square moon, and that always deals with reflection, with stuff coming back to us. Yeah, as the moon gets bigger, you know, from the new moon to the full moon, we put stuff out there. New impulses, new desires, new needs, new wants, new creations. And then after that full moon, she's coming back, you know. And life is showing us ourselves, showing us maybe what we missed or what needs to be done, or it's a time of reflection. It's a time of like really, you know, looking at. And so this last, you know, this last phase, as the moon moves through Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and comes around to that new moon next Wednesday, you know, this is just like finish, close, complete, reflect, you know, and oftentimes the square is a crisis in consciousness. It's like, whoa, what have I done? Or what did I not do? Or, you know, why is this happening? You know, that I wasn't counting on. It's kind of like the forces of destiny, or the forces of fate, or the forces of spirit, however you want to look at it. Some people say karma, others prefer dharma. I prefer dharma. It sounds a lot better than karma. It's just the path we're walking on. And right now, that path is going down into the dark of the jungle, or down into the underworld, or down into the waters of Cancer, the waters of feeling, in order to like stir up and bring up, you know. And this is a time of memories, dreams, and reflections, yeah, coming up from the past. But I just did this other video, I don't know if it was a Pele report. Rest in peace, R.I.P., reflect, integrate, and process. Instead of rest in peace, now we can reflect, integrate, and process all the stuff that's coming up. Yeah, you know, all the patterns, all the fears, all the needs, all the unmet needs. And that has to do with grief. And this Venus coming around to square Saturn, let's just talk about that square for a little bit. Yeah, you know, it's like Venus in Leo just wants to play and express and have love affairs and games and, you know, just like really be full of itself and full of myself. And then here comes Saturn in Scorpio. Demands, expectations. Yeah, it's like, you know what? Come on, step up to the plate. You know, is your show really ready? You know, Leo is the stage. Venus, Jupiter is, you know, I want to sing and dance. Well, Saturn is a very critical audience. You know, it's like, hey, don't just throw out any kind of dance, any kind of performance. I want the best, yeah? It's like, you know what, we only want the, you know, the top of the ballet, or the, you know, the London Philharmonic Symphonic Orchestra, you know. I mean, it's like we want the best. It's really, so the pressure, it's pressure. And Pluto in Capricorn, pressure. So we're all under a lot of pressure right now. And this pressure is pushing us, forcing us. It's like squeezing our tube of toothpaste, man. You know? You know, and all this, you know, all our toothpaste is coming out. You know, and it's like, whoa, man, I got to look at this. You know, I'm supposed to look at it and deal with all this stuff that's coming up and coming out, you know, and then I'm still supposed to, like, just carry on like everything is normal, and I'm supposed to just, like, show up at work and show up for my partner and show up for, you know, life, you know, like nothing is happening, when in fact, you know, there is all kinds of inner emotional turmoil and inner stuff going on. And so here we now have Mercury coming in to square the nodes. Communication, speaking, writing. Guess what, folks, you know? When Mercury squares the nodes, we have to talk in order to evolve. It's like right now we're at this crossroads, and the crossroads requires communication. It's like you're at the toll booth and you got to talk to the, you know, or you're at the river Styx and you got to talk to the boatman, you know, if you want to get to the other side. It's like now we have to talk it out, and we have to speak, and it's going to maybe be some hard conversations to have, you know. Venus square Saturn is that, you know what, I'm not really feeling, you know, lovey-dovey, and I'm not really feeling like this relationship is, you know, working so well, and you know, you know, my partner may want more out of me, or I may want more out of my partner, and it's this, you know, this time of partnership and relationship is like really requiring some analyzation and some communication, and maybe some therapy, and maybe a third person in there to, like, really, you know, assist us in seeing what's us and what's them, so that we don't slip into victim. This is the danger with the opposition. Sun, Mars, Mercury down here in Cancer can feel victimized by Pluto. The governments, the wars, the institutions, you know, whoever, the lawyers, the banks, they're just like, you know, controlling, dominating, ruling, and, you know, this is a time where all of humanity is dealing with victim consciousness, and how to overcome victim consciousness, and how to really, you know, in the face of, this is a test. That's what I like to say. This is a test. This is only a test of the emergency broadcast system. I was brought up, you know, watching TV in the United States, and they had these emergency tests of the broadcast system where they would interrupt your programming. You know, entertainment, Leo, Venus, Jupiter in Leo just wants some entertainment and wants to have a good time. So you're like, they're watching a movie, you know, and you're in the middle of a movie, and all of a sudden, you know, these bastards would come on and go, stop the movie. This is a test. This is only a test of the emergency broadcast system. If there was an emergency, we need to know, blah, 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 blah. And you're sitting there going like, hey, I was in the middle of a movie. This is what's going on now, man. It's like you're just living your life, you know, you just want to be like going along, and maybe, you know, kind of sleepwalking, you know, kind of like, you know, only awake, or avoiding or denying this, that, or the other thing. And it's like now life is like smacking you, hitting you, pushing you, you know, stepping on you until you go like, God, this is not comfortable. What's going on? Right, you know? My program has been interrupted. So I need to like look at some stuff, and I need to deal with issues, and deal with feelings, and deal with loss and betrayal, and where I've been abandoned, and how I feel like life is not going the way I want. I need to deal with these feelings. Instead of, you know, having a toke, having a smoke, having a drink, having a, you know, shot or whatever, you know, it's like, no, it's like, this is like, the pressure's like, you got to deal with this. So we're all kind of getting, you know, shit shoved in our face. Oh, baby. So what's the mantra for that? I love it, man. The mantra that I woke up with this morning is, right, when I greet the day with a great big smile, it's not because I'm blind, but I know that I can use my heart to keep an open mind. You know what I'm saying? It's up to each one of us, internally and personally. Each one of us, this is Cancer, my own feelings, my own self. And Capricorn, Pluto in Capricorn is take responsibility for yourself. Take responsibility for the vibrational level or the attitude, whatever, however you want to describe it, you know, that you hold and that you keep and that you maintain during the day. Kundalini Yoga calls it your magnetic field or your aura. It's up to you to clean your own aura in the midst of, in the face of, you know, the landslide, the tsunami, the banks closing, whatever. It's just like, you know, we've really got to like expand our aura, expand our magnetic field, expand our heart, keep an open mind, keep an open heart in the face of all this stuff, and through, and you know, pass the test. We are going to create a new paradigm. We are going to create our own reality, and it's going to start with me creating my own internal reality. That's Cancer. And in order to do that, I may need to let go of old issues, old, you know, parental family stuff, old childhood stuff, and birth myself anew. Greet the day. Yeah? When I greet the day with a great big smile, it's not because I'm blind, but I know that I can use my heart to keep an open mind. May your heart be wide and your mind be open. Namaste. Aloha. So much love.